Hello, my name is Heather Carlton with Protect Your Boundaries, and today we are going to be talking about boundary trees. Boundary trees can be a tricky topic because, unlike other structures, trees cannot be moved or altered to our desired specifications. Once they begin growing, there is no telling how they will spread. So to begin, let's define what a boundary tree is. A boundary tree occurs when part of the trunk sits over the property line. The trunk is defined by the portion of the tree that is between the root collar line and the branch collar line. It does not matter if the majority of the tree is on your property. Even if the trunk is just a few centimeters over the property line, you have a boundary tree. In this case, ownership and responsibility for the tree are shared equally between you and your neighbor. You might be wondering if a boundary tree can be removed. In order to remove a boundary tree, you and your neighbor who share the tree must be in agreement. If you remove a boundary tree without the consent of your neighbor, you may find yourself in a dispute or having legal action taken against you. On the contrary, if you and your neighbor agree that the tree needs to be removed, contact your local municipality to find out what bylaws are in place and if there are any permits you need to obtain. The laws around boundary trees vary from one municipality to another, so always check to make sure you are removing your tree legally. So how can you find out if your tree is a boundary tree? If you have a tree that you think might be a boundary tree, there are a few people you can contact to help with the distinction. The first is an arborist. They will tell you exactly where the root collar line is on the side of the boundary in question. Next, you can contact a surveyor. They will tell you where the boundary is and show you the location of the root collar if it has been marked by an arborist. You can also check if we have a survey of your property at www.protectyourboundaries.ca, where we have the largest online database of pre-existing surveys. Once you have determined if your tree is a boundary tree or not, you can then go through the necessary steps to get your tree removed legally. So let's recap and go over the 3 steps to having your boundary tree removed. 1. Find out who the rightful owner of the tree is. Obtain a survey to find out exactly where your boundary lines are. If you cannot find a survey, hire a surveyor to mark a boundary for you. 2. If you have a boundary tree, approach your neighbor and find out how they would feel about you altering the tree. Your neighbor may even be in agreement that the tree needs to be removed. Sometimes a simple discussion can avoid boundary disputes and legal action being taken against you. 3. Once you have determined you have a boundary tree and you and your neighbor are in agreement, contact your local municipality to find out what the bylaws are in place and what permits you need to obtain to remove the tree on your properties. Watch our video on disruptive trees to get some tips on what to do when your neighbor will not agree to having a tree removed or refuses to upkeep a tree on their property. Thank you for watching our information session on boundary trees. I hope we were able to answer some of your questions. For more information, you can visit our website at www.protectyourboundaries.ca.